You're a fan of epic franchises, right?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy a franchise. I enjoy a franchise, I think, for the same reason that, like, I think it's tied into the part of me that is a completist and enjoys working through a series. And obviously that's, you can't be a completist unless there's several of something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Robocop? You've seen Robocop? You've seen Robocop.
Yeah. Matthew Broderick is left in a bad way after an explosion.
Not the garbage reboot. Not the garbage.
No.
The original.
No.
The original.
Matthew Broderick. And
1987.
They put
Robocop.
like a
Peter Welland.
He has a helicopter hat and a niece named Penny.
No, we're watching Robocop.
And he says,
we're watching Robocop.
Go Gadget, and then
we're watching Robocop. So, I'd buy that for $1.
Look, I gotta tell you, speaking of buying things for $1 or buying things real cheap, I gotta tell you, I know you're not a coffee drinker.
No.
Is that like straight across the board? Like if someone gave you like an iced coffee and it was like a super sweet, no, you just don't like it. You've tried it?
No.
You've never tried never tried coffee? I'm sure you've tried
coffee. I don't like the flavor.
And
I don't
you don't
even
like
the
it.
smell.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't understand how other people like it. Most people put so much coffee or cream in it.
And I don't do that.
But you would have started that way.
Yeah.
And then weaned yourself. Yeah.
And then got myself. Until
you're addicted, and then you can take it straight.
Well, no, and see, so I'm not even addicted.
It's like drugs. You don't just go straight for the hard.
Yeah.
You got to take the soft stuff first, and then you get the hard.
For me,
stuff.
coffee's one of those things. I could just quit today. I don't religiously, right? It's not like, oh, don't talk to me in the morning until I've had my coffee. Like, I'm not like that. I'll go a couple of weeks of having a coffee every day, and then I'll go a couple of months where I had like 2 or 3 coffees that month, right? Sure. I could take it or leave it. I take it because I do enjoy. I like it. I like it's warm. Obviously the caffeine gives you a little bit of a whoop. But my caffeine journey or my coffee journey over the last, I'll say, couple of years. Right. I had never owned coffee maker. And so it was just like, well, I'll have a coffee if I'm somewhere and someone offers me a coffee, or if I'm out and I'm tired and I need to pick me up, I'll stop at Tim Hortons or whatever, get a coffee. So then I was like, well, you know what? Maybe I should have means of making coffee at home.
Because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. And so I went on, I probably got it on.
Same price you buying a
actually,
large
I think
Tim Hortons coffee, you probably make 5 or 10 of your own.
Yeah. I think maybe someone bought it for me because I had expressed interest in it. I was given, all of a sudden I came into the possession of a French press. Which for those that don't know, it's like a glass beaker.
I don't drink coffee. I know what a French press is. People know what a French press is.
Well, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't use, like, this is a little more of an artisan kind of way of making coffee. So you have like this glass beaker and you put your coffee grounds in it and you pour the hot water in and then you let it steep kind of like a tea. And then the top has this plunger, right? Like this, you push the knob down and on the bottom of the knob is this like mesh screen. So it just like pushes all the coffee grounds to the bottom and holds them there. And then but the thing about a French press is because you're boiling your own water and whatever, it is really easy to screw up coffee, right? Because you don't want, like, much like tea, although my understanding is tea's a little more lenient, if you use water that's too hot, you will, quote unquote, burn the coffee. Like it's not good. You don't want your water to be too hot, not near as hot as tea. So anyways, I always screwed it up, right? Because I'm not going to stick a thermometer in it. I'm going to boil water. The other thing about it is because there's no real filter in that process, what you end up with is really like the coffee, you would make it and then pour it into a glass or a mug. And then like 10 minutes later, it's starting to separate. Like there's oils, all the natural oils from the coffee are like making it through, which I'm sure can make, if you do it properly, can make for
great coffee.
The best coffee, right?
If that's possible.
Sure. Like whatever,
I would argue that there is no such thing as a good coffee. But.
And then I took it one step further where I was gifted a coffee grinder, like a little electric coffee grinder.
Right.
And so now instead of buying coffee grounds, I was buying beans. And I'm like, oh, dude, I'm like freshly grinding beans and then using the French press and the, blah, blah, blah.
I'm going to roast them. I'm going to get raw beans.
Yeah, but
roast them in my oven. And...
The other thing about a French press is it's a total bitch to clean because you got to like disassemble the whole thing and there's coffee grind stuck, whatever. And so finally, all of this is to say, I've purchased a lot of things in my lifetime, a lot of things where I'm like, I'm going to use this every day. I'm going to play the shit out of this video game. And then, you play a little bit of it, blah, 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 and it goes mostly unplayed. I was actually looking at my Xbox 360 game collection up on the shelf the other day, and I'm like, some of these I don't think I ever actually played, right? Or like, I put it in and I played half an hour of it, and 15-year-old me wasn't into it, thought it was too hard, or didn't like whatever mechanic because it was, I just want to run around and blow stuff up, right? And maybe adult me would be like, oh man, there's like the Saboteur is actually this like really well thought out, excellent game. Anyways, very seldom do I make a purchase where it is like right out of the gate, this has changed my life. Right after Christmas, or just before Christmas, I decided that I was going to go out and get a coffee maker. Like just right, like the filter and the pot maker. And the whatever. So I went to Walmart, $20. There was a $15 one, but the $15 one made 5 cups of coffee, and the $20 one, $5 more, you had the capacity for like 12 cups of coffee or whatever. And I'm like, well, whatever. For that odd time, blah, blah, blah. And it's $5, right? Yeah. So whatever. So I did that. I went to the store. I bought like a 1 liter thing of cream. And I bought, because I don't take sugar in my coffee, I bought a 1 liter thing of cream, and I bought a, whatever I don't know what the unit of measurement is, but the tin of coffee type of thing, okay. Every damn day. And it's just nice, right? Like it's just, this is something that I've purchased, and I'm like, I don't know. There's no point to this story other than it's for $20. Right? Like it can be rare to make a purchase that changes your life and just like becomes a part of your routine. And you're like, oh, this is so much easier than everything I was doing. Like, this is just great. And I'm happy that I have this. But one of those purchases for as low a price as $20 is exceedingly rare. And so I'm super proud and super happy to say that for $20, I have upset the order of my life in a positive way.
I don't believe you.
You don't believe me about what?
I disagree with everything about coffee, so I fail to believe you.
Hello and welcome to the Movie Men podcast.
We are the B Team.
The B Team. My name is Brady.
I'm Carl.
The B Team because the A team of this podcast is Peter.
By himself.
And myself.
No.
By himself. Just, yeah. Yeah. Robocop. What year did this movie come out?
87.
87. So it is
3 years after Terminator.
More importantly, yeah. So I mean, in some ways, it's not a Terminator ripoff.
No,
but it is
not
a
even-
response to the success that was Terminator.
It's a response.
If Terminator didn't come out, I don't think this movie gets made.
It's a response. Oh, this would have got made because it's a response to the action hero movies in general that came out were coming out in that time.
So more importantly, sure, 3 years after Terminator. 4 years after Inspector Gadget. This is no. But seriously, because I started thinking while watching it, I was like, "Wow, what year did Inspector Gadget start? Is Inspector Gadget a RoboCop ripoff, like a kid's RoboCop ripoff?" There's no
that's a
way.
stretch.
There is absolutely no way that you will be able to convince me that some inspiration, that there isn't at least a 10% degree of rip-offishness that RoboCop is in terms of Inspector Gadget. Because it's a law enforcement agent who, I don't know that back in the animated show they ever delved into the fact that like he was a human and then something bad happened to him. That was the Matthew Broderick film, blah, blah, blah. But still, a law enforcement agent who is part man, part machine. There's just the similarities are too stark.
There might be something there.
There's gotta be.
Nothing that I've heard, but
I mean, how much digging and research have you done into RoboCop?
a decent amount.
Yeah.
I've mentioned before on this show that one of the YouTubers, I don't really follow him as much anymore because his content has changed a little bit. But I had followed this channel called Fact Fiend, where they kind of delve into a topic. The main guy on the channel.
Yeah.
He worked as a published author for news articles and stuff, publishing about this crazy thing about this movie or this thing, and he's a huge absolute RoboCop fiend fan.
Right.
And he so most of his episodes are him talking about one of the articles he's written.
Right.
And he's got 10 or 12 where he's talking about RoboCop.
So,
and he just waxes poetic about some crazy things, like how the first scene they shot, the first day of shooting, the first scene they shot took them all day. And it was the scene near the beginning of the movie where RoboCop walks by and grabs the keys out of the air.
Right.
It took them a full day of shooting.
Sure, because he kept missing.
Because he's in this
Couldn't
suit.
get it.
Well, the suit was just so cumbersome and
restrictive.
The restrictive, and the gloves had foam pads on them, so he didn't have any dexterity or couldn't feel where so it took him all day to get the shot where he walks by and grabs the keys out of the air.
Yeah. I have the official answer here. The director, where are we here? RoboCop was conceived in the early, or not the director, or is that the guy that directed it? No, it's the guy that wrote it.
The screenplay.
Yeah. So RoboCop was conceived in the early 1980s by Universal Pictures junior story executive and aspiring screenwriter Edward Numiere. A fan of robot-themed science fiction films like Star Wars and other action films, Numiere had developed an interest in mature comic books while researching them for potential adaptation. In 1982, science fiction film Blade Runner was filming on the Warner Brothers lot behind Numiere's office, and he unofficially joined the production to learn about filmmaking. His work there gave him the idea for RoboCop. I had a vision of a far distant Blade Runner type world where there was an all-mechanical cop coming to a sense of real human intelligence. He spent the next few nights writing a 40-page outline.
Fun fact: he also wrote Starship Troopers. No, did I ever say that right? Yeah,
Starship Troopers.
Am I saying that right? My goodness, I feel like an idiot. Yeah, Starship Troopers.
So,
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
No, you haven't
I
seen
haven't
Starship
seen Starship
Troopers.
Troopers.
Okay.
I've seen the infamous, in my pursuit of knowledge and sort of our breakdown of nudity in film, I have seen the
shower scene.
extremely gratuitous, what the hell is even happening? Why put this in a film scene? And discussed it. I think we discussed it probably in our nudity in film episode.
You're talking about the shower scene.
The shower scene, yeah, 100%.
This has like a snippet of that kind of same idea.
Yeah, and so we'll get into all that, but we should start with initial impressions.
Yeah, we should.
So take it away. This is your film. You get to go first.
Yeah, it is. So RoboCop.
Yeah.
I like RoboCop a lot.
Yeah.
It's great. It is.
As a franchise or as a film? Like, is RoboCop 2 and 3?
As a franchise.
Okay.
2 and 3, like, it's not one of those trilogies. Like, if you look at the original trilogy of, I think is there 3? Yeah, there's
three.
definitely 3. Then there's a reboot, and there's a TV show.
What do you think of the reboot?
It's not as good.
No?
It's a bit of a mess.
Like if you take yourself out of the okay.
We'll get into it. Anyway.
And there's a TV show, eh?
And there's a TV show, which I watched quite a bit of growing up. And it was, I mean, as a kid, I enjoyed
There's
it.
an animated series called RoboCop Alpha Commando.
There's a video game that came out this past year.
A real recent, yeah. And I was...
And apparently it's pretty decent. I haven't played it.
Even though I don't know anything about, or didn't know anything about RoboCop, it caught my attention.
Yeah, it was supposed to be pretty decent. Anyway, yeah, I like this. I like it. The trilogy kind of descends in quality of writing. The writer for this film also wrote the second one, but wasn't involved in the third. So the quality of the film kind of goes down and the story goes down in terms of the movies. The show was enjoyable from what I remember, little I remember of it. And I like RoboCop. It's a cool character. It's a cool premise. It's a cool movie. I like it. Not to show my hand or anything.
I mean, that is kind of the point of the initial impression is to show your hand. And then to unpack why that's your hand.
What say you in your initial impressions of RoboCop?
It's not flawless. There's definitely some issues. I think, without getting into like what I think my final score is going to be too deeply, there is a certain. This is something Pete and I have been dealing with quite a bit with our Planet of the Apes. I don't know if have you heard any of those episodes?
Yeah, I've listened to them. Yeah.
There is a certain.
I don't listen to ours, but I listen to the ones that you and Pete
sure,
do.
yeah, and I think Pete's the same way. Pete, which means I don't listen to any of them.
I was there for it.
The only episode that I wasn't in is Pete's review of 1917.
Yeah, by himself.
Yeah, and I haven't heard it. No, listen. There's a certain boost that a film gets. A certain when ranking a film, I feel like you start out at a certain score simply due to iconicism.
Sure.
It was the same thing with the first Planet of the Apes film, right? It's like, maybe it's a shit film, but it's Charlton Heston's Planet of the Apes, right? Like it's got this kind of iconicism.
It's got an allure to it because it's
it's
held up to a certain
it's
believed standard.
It's whenever it is and more specifically, I think it is a film that entered or created or propelled a new IP into the zeitgeist,
right? And it has lasted.
Enough that probably 10 or 11 years ago now there was a remake.
Two.
There was another remake?
Well, they did there's the Charlton Heston ones.
No,
And
I
then
mean,
Tim Burton,
I'm talking about
and then-
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Okay.
About 11 years ago,
Yeah.
10 or 11 years ago,
Yeah.
there was a remake. And I'm curious to check out the remake because I know who's in it.
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Okay.
No, I've never seen any RoboCop
Maybe we'll
stuff.
have to take a little RoboCop journey.
Oh God, are we going on a 4-film?
I don't know if we might skip 3. I think I have ever seen 3.
You've never seen 3?
I don't think so.
So
I know it's
then
bad
I'm inclined
by
to watch
comparison.
3 and be like, oh, you've never seen it. No, listen. There's a certain iconicism.
Yes. Yeah, like it's become a cult classic. Like
Yes.
because it is, like you said, it's kind of it's grown beyond the borders of the silver screen to TV shows,
T-shirts,
comic
and
books, shirts,
probably
video. It's leaked into video games that aren't RoboCop
Certainly,
related.
there's cosplay. There's
Force.
right, like it's a part of the Comic-Con world.
Yeah.
But what I've been discovering more often than not is that films that are iconic, specifically films that are like 1980s and older, that are iconic, are sometimes on a little bit of a pedestal. Right? Maybe the IP is better than the actual film is, right? I think a great example of this is like, Terminator. Obviously, you have to hold Terminator, the first film, the Terminator, in certain high regard because it started it.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the best Terminator film,
No.
right?
But it holds up in comparison to the best one.
Yeah. I mean, when's the last time you watched it?
In the last 10 years.
Yeah. There are issues, right? Whether it's like the acting in this isn't very good, or and that's not specifically Terminator. This is just iconic films in general,
Right, okay.
right? Things like Conan the Barbarian, iconic film. Right? Even if you haven't seen it, there's a good chance you've heard about it and you know that it's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film. And then you watch it and you're like, there's a lot of this that's pretty jank. And I think sometimes when it comes to iconicism, an IP, an idea, a world, or a set of circumstances sometimes is more powerful than the film itself. And that's what happened, I think, with Planet of the Apes, right? The idea of a sort of, apocalyptic future where apes are now the dominant species on the earth and humans are essentially their cattle. And I feel like not entirely, sorry, this has been a long-winded initial impression.
Yeah, these are supposed to be short. What the fuck are you doing?
But nice save. I really appreciate you there. I really appreciate you. I feel like not to the extent that it has happened with many other iconic films, but to an extent that is also what's going on here. I think that maybe the IP or the idea of RoboCop and what can be done with that is bigger and better than the film of RoboCop is specifically itself.
Are you talking about like the acting and the practical effects of the time not holding up?
No, I mean, I think the practical effects in this, I mean, there are times like the ED, whatever it is, like the giant robot cop. Yeah. Obviously that's like rotoscoped or stop motion. Puppetry, whatever, right? Like obviously that doesn't necessarily hold up, but it's not bad. It's not like it's better than Rancor type stuff, right? Like it's not bad. That doesn't bother me. This is
all like this RoboCop is all practical effects.
Yeah.
So, which is crazy.
Well, I mean, there was no CGI, right? There was nothing else.
Yeah. The term special effects started being played with there with like painting on cells and stuff like that.
But no, I listen, I don't have a problem with, I mean, out of the two examples you've given, which is the special effects and
I'm just trying to hone in on like what like you I think myself and the audience will get an understanding of what you're grasping.
A lot of the acting is bad.
Broad.
A lot of the acting's pretty bad. Like even Peter Weller, who is a great actor, right? Like Peter Weller, who plays Robocop, goes on to what isn't he in? Where's his filmography here? Hang on a second. He is in he's in a bunch of stuff. Like Peter Weller.
Yeah, he's in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Peter Weller's a good actor. He's not great in this. Like here's you want a hot take like so officially
not great as RoboCop or not
officially
great
not great as Alex Murphy.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Like as Alex Murphy, like the film started.
Is your initial impression done or not?
Yeah, it is. Like officially my initial impression is done.
We need to put a pause here and we'll come back to this acting because I've got a question.
Sure.
A little bit of a burning question.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're falling into a trap that
it's a trap.
That the director,
like Amon Calamari,
the director fell in when he first looked at the script.
Yeah.
That a vast majority of other film critics fell into when they first watched the film on release.
Okay.
Also fell into. How seriously did you take this film?
Not very. No, I mean you can't, right? It's a film about a robotic cop.
Right. But are you taking it as satire? Because it's totally satire.
Satire in what sense?
Satire,
I might disagree with you.
of the action genre.
I don't pick up on that at all.
Oh yeah, dude. Think about it.
Okay, but hang on. Before I'll let you go down this rabbit trail. But before you go down this rabbit trail, like you have already disclosed that you regularly listen to a guy who spews his views on RoboCop.
Not his views. These are like he's taking this information from other people.
Right, but there's no way that he's not somewhat subjective.
Oh, he's definitely got some subjective matter there.
So just make sure that you have not been indoctrinated by this guy and that you're about to just like so. Okay. All right. It's fine. I'm just saying. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the claim that this would be more satire than not, is that one, it kind of subverts the action hero genre, if you will, quite a bit right in the beginning. We meet Alex Murphy. Who's right. Alex Murphy? He's this hotshot cop from another part of the city.
I mean, kind of hotshot. Like, he's not really presented as a hotshot. He's like a nobody.
Playing with his gun.
Oh, I don't see that as hotshot. He's a good dad.
They chase after the cop, the other cop car. What's he do? Give me your gun.
Yeah, okay.
He sticks his head out the window. Yeah. He starts firing with both guns.
He insists that he drives. He's a little
breaks
cocky.
in his partners. And he barrels out of the station, and then as he's sticking his head out the window, shooting both guns at 6+ people with shotguns at point blank range.
Well, I mean, a lot of this is the logic in this film is
is on purpose, purposefully. So that's that part of the satire, and so you're building up this action hero in the early stages of the film. What normally happens to action heroes in films? They're pretty much untouchable. They don't take damage.
Sometimes.
He doesn't take a single shot in that car chase. But then he gets his limbs blown off and he dies pretty much. Like, that's not supposed to happen to the action hero. On top of that, they lean into the satire with all the commercial bits.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where like the director, when he first read the script, he threw it out because he has had the same thoughts you did. This is
Okay.
trash.
I'm
It wasn't until his wife picked it out of the trash and read through it herself and said, you know, a smart director could do something really clever with this. We're talking about a writer and director who, I'm pretty sure this director worked on Starship Troopers too, because you haven't seen Starship Troopers.
that is what I said. Yes.
Starship Troopers is 100% satire as well.
I understand that.
This is the same idea.
Same writer for sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if it's the same director.
Filmography.
Quit going there.
Yes, it is the same
Yeah.
director.
So like,
Same director. Okay. Whoa. This director, man.
yeah,
This is the director of RoboCop, Total Recall,
yep.
Basic Instinct,
He's got a deep
Starship
filmography.
Troopers, and the film that I
Hollow
am
Man.
and the film that I am
Showgirls.
planning on showing you in about a month,
Showgirls.
which is straight up softcore pornography, which is Showgirls.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, so hang on. We need to. Are you capable? Like, what happened? Did you go when I was like, okay, Carl, you need to come up with a list of films that I have not seen so that we can do this first time watch series? Did you go, okay, www.google.com, films with gratuitous nudity, send, copy, paste. Like, it's the nudity in this film is brief, very brief,
Yeah.
but is gratuitous because the nudity in this film serves zero story purpose. They are boobs for the sake of boobs. 100%.
Yeah.
Right? That scene, the scene
Yeah.
of they're
It's-
in the locker room and the female cop is putting,
Yeah.
which, can we talk about that? Because it seems like the female cops are putting on, like, not tensor bandages, but it's almost like a corset to
I don't know.
flatten their chest.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know.
But,
know
but I
what's
just
going on
no, but
there,
I just
man.
found that interesting.
Yeah.
That it's like, are they like? Is there a thing where they are trying to make their female physique look more masculine?
Maybe they're just trying to decrease the hip box. If you will.
Nobody. There is no female cop that's like, I have a disadvantage as a female police officer, specifically because my boobs protrude from my body. I assure you
know, man.
that has never
You're
been a
the one that
consideration.
broached the subject.
It's never been a
I'm just
consideration.
trying
I tried to broach it in like an interesting.
to headcanon it for you here.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, my nipples. They're gonna get shot off. I guarantee you
I'd be worried about my nipples.
it's not a thing. Okay.
But it's something that happens in Starship Troopers, and I would assume that this is kind of the same thought pattern for the writer director, where they're just trying to. It's the future, and in the future, that's kind of sexuality in the locker room is gone away with.
I am willing. I mean, I completely side note, as it should be, but I am willing, for the sake of this review moving forward, I am willing to view this through the lens of satire. 100%. Not specifically because of what you've said, but I while you were saying it, I was also skimming Reddit, and that seems to be the general consensus.
Yeah.
Is that it's satire. Okay. Having said that,
Right. So, yeah,
you can still do satire. You can still put in a certain degree of effort when doing satire. You can't you cannot make a film, call it satire, and instantly say that 100% covers and excuses poor planning, poor set dressing, poor world building, and poor acting. And I'm not saying that this film has those. That's not what I'm saying. But a blanket statement on satire is that
I would agree with that statement.
You cannot just simply go, yeah, my film's pretty half-assed, but it's satire, so all of those things are erased.
Right. I would agree with that. But if you're viewing a film of satire in the lens of this film is taking itself seriously, then you're approaching the content in the wrong manner. It'd be like going into a horror movie and being like, this is going to be a great romance.
No, 100%. But I think there's an important distinction there. A satire film, by definition, does not need to take itself seriously. However, those that are making a satire film should take the process of making that film seriously.
Sure.
And I don't know that it always was in Robocop.
Well, let's get into it then.
Okay. Can we loop back to the acting?
Sure.
So there are two fantastic actors in this. Moments where I thought, you know what? They're doing great. They're selling everything that should be sold.
Every scene that they're in.
In this film. And it's two people. It is, what is his name? I should know this. Kurtwood Smith is the first one.
Right.
Plays one of the villains
that
in this.
70s dad's
plays
dad Red
Foreman in that 70s show and in that 90s show.
And in the 90s
Have you
show.
watched it?
Bits and pieces.
Yeah. He's great in this.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Like, you look at him and you go, this is an actor. This is a guy who, I mean, now I'm viewing it through this lens. This is a guy who's in a satire film, but understands that he still needs to sell his character, right? The convictions, the aspirations, the worries of this character need to be sold, and he does it. There was a thing I was just watching where it was like, it was an interview about an actor. Oh, hang on. I'm getting Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
So Patrick Stewart, I was watching an interview where he is talking about, he might have been on Conan O'Brien's podcast. And he's talking about Next Gen.
Okay.
He's talking about Star Trek and playing Picard. And you have to understand, like, Star Trek, as is Star Wars, one of those things where, like, yeah, I mean, you take your role seriously, but also you're in Star Trek.
Especially if you're in a red shirt.
I mean, blah, blah, blah. And Patrick Stewart was talking about how he treated the role of is it Luke? Luke Picard?
Jean-Luc Picard.
Jean-Luc Picard. He treated that role partially because he wanted to do a good job and partially because it was like Jean-Luc Picard was kind of out of his comfort zone and he wanted to be able to make it something that he was more familiar with. He treated it as though it was Shakespeare. I am treating this as though I am a Shakespearean actor. And I feel like not necessarily that Kurtwood Smith treated this like it was Shakespeare, but treated it as though I'm one of the bad guys of this film. I need to sell this, and I'm going to do the best job that I possibly can. The other person who I thought was fantastic, these aren't the only two people who are good, but the other person who really stood out was Miguel Ferrer, who played
Bob Morton.
Bob Morton. The guy whose idea, sort of
RoboCop was his dream.
The guy in the company who's sort of overthrowing the big guy, and also was the guy I thought he was great. Thought he was really great in his ambition, in the moments where he's injured, where he's been shot. Like, he's selling that to me. Now, those aren't the only two good people. I think that Nancy Allen, who plays Officer Lewis, is great in this film, right? I never had a qualm. By far, the worst actor in this film is Peter Weller, is the guy playing RoboCop, specifically when he's Alex Murphy. Like, the film started and I was thinking to myself, this is a little bit of a hot take. I was like, does he not realize at this point that he's not the robot yet? Like, it was just, it felt like his line delivery was horrible. It's fine as RoboCop because he's a friggin' robot, right? Like, he probably the easiest goddamn job in the world is dead or alive, you are coming with me, right? Like, I could do that. I'm not saying I'm some great actor. I could friggin' do that. But when he's playing a real human cop at the beginning, I was like, this is awful. And some of his lines, I think, were done dirty by poor editing, right? I think some of the editing was not great in the beginning of the film. I didn't notice it later on, but I noticed it at the beginning. It was like, really? You chose that take? Like, was that the only take? But yeah, he's sitting on the hood of the car, and it just felt like each line that he said as Alex Murphy was said in a vacuum. And I mean that in the sense, like, I have some, obviously, like, these are things that have gone to YouTube, some things that we began shooting and, like, not projects you're involved with, other people in the last year, where we began shooting, and for one reason or another, it never ended up, like, these projects didn't get finished. I have some directing experience, and it is,
if you want to call it that,
crucial. Yeah, I mean, you haven't seen. Yeah. You haven't seen the stuff that I.
Yeah, it's nothing grandeur, but it's.
I have experience working with actors and trying to get certain line deliveries out of them.
You can call them actors, but
yes, I mean that part. That's a little more 100%. So it is important when an actor is delivering a line that it feels congruent and connected to the lines that came before, that it feels like it's a part of the scene, that it feels natural and a part of the conversation. As Alex Murphy, almost every single line that Peter Weller delivered felt like it was the first line that he was delivering of the film, and that the director, without allowing Peter Weller to see the rest of the script, had set up the camera and said, okay, your character's feeling kind of like this, and this is sort of the emotion, okay, deliver the line. Like, they all felt like one takes or stand. He was awful. Horrible in this. Which is, I feel like, to say, okay, one actor isn't great in this film is a pretty small claim, not so egregious. To say that the film's lead, to say that the titular character sucks in this movie is sort of a big demerit. And again, the majority of the film he spends as RoboCop, and as RoboCop, there is like 10% of the acting pressure that there is. Most of your face is covered.
Okay, I disagree with that point completely.
All right, hit me up.
So my first kind of, I would say, a counterpoint to your other thing. I don't know if I would say his delivery isn't amazing.
Yeah.
Pre Robocop, but I don't know if I hate on it that much. I usually view it in the lens of he's a new transfer from dialogue we hear from what seems like a easier precinct. Because everyone's like, welcome to hell, this place is the worst, you came from heaven and you're in the worst place you could be now, why would you ever come here? So I always take it as, he's cocky, he doesn't know what kind of trouble he's really in, so he's kind of a little bit more not taking it seriously, because that's the character in those scenes.
Yeah, I even within that, each line feels weird.
Man, maybe it's nostalgia, but I don't see his acting being the most atrocious thing.
Yeah. Which, yeah, and I mean, teach their own,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I'm off the mark. Maybe I've picked up on something you haven't. For me, it doesn't work.
To his acting as Robocop, I would say, because 80% of his face is covered and he's in this massive, cumbersome suit, his acting is top-notch, on point. Like, I believe that this is a robotic
I
cyborg
do too.
man. Like, the guy's act, like, great comparisons in terms of kind of equal kind of pressure to act without being able to convey emotion as much would be the actors who played Darth Vader. You're gonna catch his name for me, but I can't remember because names suck.
Peter.
No, not Darth Vader, but on
You said Vader.
V for Vendetta.
Viggo
Mortensen. Yeah, like
No, that's Aragorn. Shit.
yeah. You don't remember it.
He played Agent Smith in The Matrix.
Yeah.
He plays Elrond in Lord of the Rings. Hugo Weaving.
Right? Like those would be two really good examples that would be able to compare to acting when you can't convey emotion, and your acting has to be even more on point because of that. And then I think another comparable would be Arnold Schwarzenegger as the Terminator in T1 and T2 and T2.
Yes.
I think T1 is there's a great scene in T1 where he's looking for John Connor in the parking lot.
Not in T1. John Connor hasn't been born.
Not John
T2?
Connor. Not John Connor.
Sarah?
Right. Not Sarah. Who's the guy that comes back in time in T1?
Reese.
He's looking for Reese in the parking lot. And when he's scanning around, Arnold Schwarzenegger does a really good job of like being really efficient with his movements. He looks with his eyes, and then he moves his head, and then he moves his torso. Then he moves his eyes, and then he moves his head, and then he moves very robotic movements, right? And like there's a real intention to how you move when you're trying to convey something that's not human.
Right.
And in this film, Peter spent months training with. The story is when he first got the part, he thought, "Oh, I want him to be kind of like the Terminator, be very efficient with his movements, but be graceful and agile at the same time."
Right.
So he took like mime classes and different things to kind of increase his agility and things like that, and help him with those intentional movements. Well, then he got in the suit and he couldn't do any of that because the suit is just huge and cumbersome.
Yeah.
It took them like 8 hours to get him in the suit when they first started shooting. So he had to scrap that, and he decided to lean into the fact that this is a cumbersome suit, and those movements have to be fewer and even more efficient. And there's like, to me, there's a beauty in his acting here.
I think
and how he he just completely sells RoboCop.
I think he does sell RoboCop, and I think that your comparison to Terminator is more on point than your V for Vendetta one. I think that because both Terminator and RoboCop, yes, you need to sell the fact that you are
Machine.
a specific thing, that you are a machine. Yeah. However, there is a sort of a you're sort of putting an actor a little bit in a box by doing that, right? Like this is here is the mark, hit it. And sell it. V for Vendetta, I would say, is more like I was recently watching some stuff, some behind the scenes stuff for the Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman portrayal, and he was talking about how what an interesting exercise in acting it was when all of a sudden you have this mask on and you have to put that much more effort into expressing through the mask, through conveying
right
emotion or thought or, whatever it may be. But I do, that aside, I do think, so I'm slightly, I guess, discrediting your V for Vendetta comparison, but I think the Arnold in Terminator 1 is spot on.
You're discrediting it because he doesn't have to convey the same emotion because he's cyborg.
Because he's not put in a box. This is specifically in RoboCop. Yes, you need to act through a mask, but you need to act a very specific way. Right?
Yes and
you
no,
are a robot.
He's not a robot. He's a cyborg. He's still he's got a human mind and he's got human organs inside.
Which that we need to get into.
The whole kind of premise of RoboCop is the second movie gets into this a lot more.
Right.
The whole premise of RoboCop is like there's a body horror thing here. Like man he's a man trapped. He's not a machine that has human parts. He's a man trapped in a machine coming to terms with that. Specifically his death in this film.
And again, I think he's better as RoboCop than he is as Alex Murphy.
I would concede that point for sure.
We do need to talk about and maybe, there's people out there who go, well, you explain it away because it's satire. But I'm like, so what the hell is, explain to me the concept or why the idea of RoboCop even makes any sense in the first place, right? And what are the rules of the universe of RoboCop? So RoboCop, he is mostly machine, right? Almost had a human arm, and then they were like, no.
Human arm is a weakness. Why would you give him a human arm?
Apparently,
which is one of the issues that a lot of RoboCop fans have with the reboot, because Michael Keaton is the guy in charge of the RoboCop program, and in that film his hand is savable, and they're like, do you want to save the hand or you want to give him a robot hand? And he's like, in that film his character's goes, oh, my dad always said you can tell a guy a lot about a person by their handshake. Keep the hand. And which doesn't make a lot of sense if you're trying to create an indestructible police officer. Why would you give him a glaring weakness?
But here's the thing:
that feels pain.
If you're trying to create an indestructible police officer, why would you keep any of the human elements? Right? The guy's...
Because then you get a big monster that can't walk downstairs.
But the guy's got to eat. Why? Why keep his stomach? Why does the guy got to eat? Right?
I think it's less for a stomach and more for the brain matter.
And that's like, I don't know. I would want to watch. There's probably a video out there somewhere where some neurologist analyzes RoboCop and goes, no, based on the spot where he took that bullet, this guy's fried. Like so here's the thing.
You want to dive that deep into the weeds? You can explain a lot of film.
Satire, and this comes back to like, you don't need to take a satire film seriously unless you're the ones making it. And there's a lot of stuff in this that's like, there's no way. They're putting him on a ventilator as they're rushing him into the hospital. They're doing all these things, and I'm like, there's no way. Oh, we have blood pressure. No, you don't. Do you know why you don't have blood pressure?
He's missing a limb.
His arm is removed. This guy, his arteries he has bled out before anyone has even arrived on the scene. Right. So I look, there was a lot of that stuff where, I mean, yeah, you have to suspend disbelief.
Suspend disbelief. And that would be another point that leans into the satire of the action film where, people don't die from things that they should die from. which there's a,
but
oh man,
the reason, hang on, the reason why you have to suspend so much disbelief is because they made the decision, the director made the decision that his death was going to include a severed arm and being pumped full of 10 or 12 buckshots.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
and a bullet to the brain.
And a bullet to the brain. You could have killed this character and brought him back as a robot with most of his functions still intact far more believably if you hadn't decided to go so aggressive and so effects heavy with his initial death. I think that's a demerit.
Yeah. Well,
because that's a decision, and it's a decision that doesn't carry through to believability.
Yeah. Part of those decisions, I think, were made for kind of the blood and the gore.
100%.
But
sometimes less is more.
There's another fun story about this film. Right near the beginning, we see the first introduction of Ed.
Yeah.
And they do a little demo of Ed in the boardroom. Pick up the gun and point it at Ed. And Ed says, "Put down the gun in 10 seconds or
Dick.
I'll open
Dick
fire."
Dick says it.
Yeah.
Not Ed.
No, Ed says it. The robot. The robot says, "Put down the gun."
Yeah,
you have 10 seconds to comply. And of course he goes haywire and he shoots the guy. He blows the guy away. And they did it. They filled the guy full of squibs and pew, 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 lots of.
Oh yeah.
So apparently this is like the extra who got shot to hell is like super proud of all of this. Apparently the movie was made and in the editing chair, the director is like, "It looks good, but we need more." And apparently they rebuilt the whole set, brought everybody back in, put more squibs on them like than before, and did it all again. And after that, he still wasn't happy. So they like put spaghetti under his shirt and squibs, more squibs. Apparently he had the extras claim that got blown to hell. His claim is that his character or that scene is somebody with the most squibs on them in a movie shoot ever.
See, and that is simultaneously absolutely ridiculous. And
that's what that's kind
also
of the level of this film.
But also one of the things that I really love about the filmmaking process.
There's the one guy. Somebody call a damn doctor.
Yeah, call. Can we get the paramedics here?
Where's the paramedic?
Yeah, and this guy's just been decimated. But that's the
man.
thing, right? Is that Alex Murphy
But
is
maybe he could have been
almost
saved. They saved Alex Murphy. Maybe they could have saved
yeah, and that's the thing, right? Like Alex Murphy is almost just as decimated. Comes back just fine.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that the film is set? I mean, the film comes out in 1987. It is set in the year 2029.
So, just real quick, I Googled, can you survive a gunshot to the head?
Well, yeah, you can, for
American
sure.
Association of Neurological Surgeons reports that
Depending
trauma
on where you're
resulting
hit.
in a gunshot to the head, though thought to be fatal only 90% of the time.
But can you? But you also need
You also need
to remove
and
their arm
limbs.
and then have their stomach, lungs, heart,
No,
liver, kidneys to be shot up.
I see your point, but like
This guy's brain dead.
they're
There's
leaning into the satire and
100%.
the absurdity
They're
of
like-
it.
They have granted themselves a certain amount of, well, who cares,
Yeah,
right? So the film's set in 2029,
yeah,
4 years from now.
yeah. Chicago, look out!
It seems lazy to me, like, especially because here's the thing, like in that thing that I read, the writer was unofficially working on Blade Runner and was like, oh yeah, I'm envisioning a Blade Runner-esque world with a mechanical cop. There's nothing about this film that feels Blade Runner, right? Like Blade Runner, which, by the way, I haven't seen. But Blade Runner, my understanding and the screenshots that I've seen, the clips that I've seen, it is a futuresque world.
That was a groundbreaking film for what they did.
Robocop, they were like,
stuff,
okay,
yeah.
so it's 1987. We're going to jump 40 years. We're going to jump 42 years into the future. What might the world look like? Well, the answer to that is aside from the ability to create a Robocop and sniper rifles that cause explosions, the world looks exactly the same. Nothing has changed in this. The car, he's like, oh, it's a brand new sticker, whatever. And I was like, it's a 1980s car. What do you like?
Well,
there was zero effort put into making this feel like it was 42 years in the future from when this film was being made. Right? Back to the Future Part 2 maybe took it too far. Like, ooh, flying cars and self-lacing
Blade Runner
shoes
did
and
the same
like
thing
all
with
this stuff.
flying
Right.
Cars. Blade
But
Runner set in
RoboCop-
2049.
Robocop was like, okay, we're going to meet you on the other side of this. We're not going to lift a damn finger.
Yeah. So
They could have put a little more effort
there
into
could have been some
not
budget
making it
constraints
feel like
there.
the 80s.
There could have been some budget constraints there. I'll tell you how I headcanon it. And I know I'm not saying that
Change
this
people's
is
clothes.
I'm not
give
saying
them
how this
haircuts.
is the police uniforms look pretty kind of not pretty kind of futurist, but like dystopian future. Like this is not this
What,
is
their bulletproof vest
Blade-
looks a little different.
Blade Runner would be like if everything goes right future. RoboCop is dystopian future.
Right, that
Like
everything's just stopped
going
in the 1980s.
No, everything's going bad.
Yeah, but like the technological advancements for the most part just stopped in the 1980s.
Well, they don't stop. I made this. I made it more.
I mean,
I
there
made
are
it as a
tube
joke. But like,
TVs.
Yes,
it takes
but the
3 seconds
but
for
the
an
military
image to
industrial
download.
complex is going all ham. They've got people are living in space in this show, and
I mean, the president has gone to visit space.
Yeah.
which would never happen, by the way. Never.
people are
never in a
living-
million years.
people are living in space.
Doesn't matter. No, it's too much of a. It's too much of a risk.
president-
They're not
the-
letting the president go to space.
President goes to China. If there's a moon colony and you
That's-
can guarantee safe trap, tourists are
A
going
little
back and forth
different
to the
than
moon.
Space.
You have to travel through space to get to the moon.
Yeah, the president will. In our lifetime, the president will never step foot on the moon.
Probably not.
It's not going to happen.
There's a possibility.
In
It's
our
small, but there's
in
a
our
probability.
lifetime, the president is not leaving Earth's atmosphere.
I don't know about
Because there's a risk. The president isn't allowed to drive a car because of the risks that could be involved in driving a car.
Space travel's a thing. Like,
Sure.
no, like civilian space travel is a thing right now.
Juggling flaming chainsaws is a thing. The president's not allowed to do it.
If William Shatner can go to space, the president can go to space.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, I was entertained throughout. I never got bored.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to pick out a lot of, oh, come on, what is happening here?
Right.
But I was still entertained.
Yeah.
And that says a lot. That's important.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all I have to say. I don't know if you have other questions or...
We kind of touched on practical effect. Like this movie's very practical effect heavy.
As were films in the, like, so is
Yeah.
Terminator, right? As were films in the 80s.
Terminator was had practical effects. I would not call it practical effect heavy.
How so?
In that
Squibs
in
and
that-
explosions and...
No. In that for 90% of the film, the Terminator is Arnold.
Right.
There's the last...
But even when the Terminator's not, it's still a practical effect.
The last 10 minutes of the film, he's the not exoskeleton, endoskeleton. He's the endoskeleton.
Yeah.
And there is
T-800.
there's a small scene kind of near the middle of the film where he's fixing his eye.
Yeah.
That's
still a practical effect.
I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying those are the practical effects. This has got practical effects all over the freaking place.
Right, but leading up to that, there's still explosions and all kinds of other stuff going on.
There's
Squibs going off.
Dismemberments.
Yeah.
And bullet holes to the head. And
No, but I mean in Terminator. There's explosions.
there's
and
squibs and explosions.
Yeah. Vehicles ramping, like car stunts and...
Those are stunts and pyrotechnics. I don't know if I'd call them practical effect. I would
Listen,
I would call
nowadays, when the majority of explosions are done digitally, a practical explosion is a practical effect.
nowadays, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that is
But,
the
like,
antithesis to
Back then,
the
a
digital
practical
one.
effect would be making something seem real when it's not.
Right.
Right.
Like a gas station exploding. They didn't actually blow up a gas station.
But they did blow up the set.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm referring to something.
So what is your definition of practical effect?
A practical effect would be having a guy skin melts off walking around with
Right.
the skin melting off. That's a practical effect.
Okay.
Having a robot walking around, not Ed walking around next to not robots, human actors,
Right.
and it's a practical effect.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think there's a bit of a differentiation there.
Sure. I think we draw the line in different places, but I understand what you're saying, and I can.
Yeah. I would differentiate a practical effect from pyrotechnics to stunt coordination.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway.
Are we ready to rank this?
I think I'm done. Yeah, sure.
All right.
Unless you
So
got- yeah, if you
I mean,
sound
it's
done.
your film.
It's
So
my film.
On a scale of 0 to 10, how would you rank RoboCop?
I would give RoboCop an 8.5.
8.5.
Yeah.
Good gracious, that's a big score.
Yeah, it's a great film. It's a lot of fun. Especially when you approach it as it should be approached.
So 8.5 takes your score for yourself from 7.3
We need to talk about the scores because I think Pete had a good idea.
to a 7.4. And your overall score from a 6.6 to a 6.7. So Pete's suggestion was that we do it on a year basis, so that the score has the ability to adjust aggressively.
'Cause
I agree, but because we didn't start January 1st in the series, I think we need to do it on a 52 weeks basis.
Okay.
Which is like, what, April or something is when we started this?
I don't know. You'd have to go back and figure it out.
But yeah, so I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I think more importantly,
I think the stronger point that he's making, which is correct, is the longer we do this, the less it matters.
I think
Unless we hit a reset button.
I think more importantly, the part of me that is concerned about my entertainment and viewer entertainment and all of those things is that there is a humiliation or some sort of repercussion for the person who loses each year.
I'm not down to Kenny versus Spenny this.
Oh, I'm not saying we do Kenny versus Spenny. I'm not saying you have to eat horse cum. I'm saying like, we film you lost, so we film you eating a teaspoon of awful hot sauce, or we film me doing something that I really don't want to do because my films suck compared to yours.
Yeah, I'm not down for that.
Well, then what's the point? Then what does it matter? You remove all stakes.
Why do there have to be? It can't be just fun for the sake of
You don't
fun.
add stakes? I
like a good steak.
Nothing is fun for the sake of fun.
That's not true.
Okay. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Come April, or whenever I'll have to take you just gave me the perfect idea. No, I agree 100% with you. No torture. Whoever wins at the end of the 12 months is purchased and prepared a real nice steak dinner.
Because there needs to be a steak.
Because there needs to be steaks. Is treated to a real nice steak. And I'm talking like, I don't mean grocery store. I mean, if I lose, I'm going to take the butcher shop. I take my ass to the butcher, and the guy gets me a steak where I'm like, oh, I've never seen a steak that thick. And we get the charcoal grill going, and we slap that steak on. Well, whatever. Deal? Handshake.
Okay.
All right. Steak dinner.
I am hesitant.
There are now steaks.
There being a steak at all because
you're losing.
No, because it affects the movie choice you choose to show your person.
No, so the deal, the contingency here is you have to, and I mean it's Scout's honor, right? It's just based on trust, but you cannot. I have never shown you a film, and my understanding based on some of the crap that you've shown me is that you've taken the same approach. I'm showing you the films I want to show you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I didn't have to show you.
There is a potential to game the system to win.
But gentleman's agreement.
Showing, hello, my name is Bruce.
Gentleman's agreement that we won't do that.
Yeah.
That we will just still show each other, and however the cards fall, the cards fall.
Yeah.
That being said, 100%. My official score for this film, before we even agreed on the steak thing, I'm going to give it a 6.5.
You dirty bastard. You lowered your score.
I think that I did lower my score, but not because of the steaks. Steaks in parentheses. I said at the beginning of this episode that I think that iconicism puts a film in a specific place on the ranking score. And I didn't disclose this at the beginning, but I decided while watching the movie that place is a 7. It was a 7.5.
Okay.
In the good category. And then from there, from its iconicism, it's up to the elements of the film, the execution of the film, to either project that into great or amazing or incredible, or to lose points and end up kind of in the, it's pretty good, or it's above average. And I think that the iconicism of this film puts it at a 7. The poor acting, the lack of attention or effort to actually make this feel like it's futuristic to the time that it came out. And ultimately, this is something we didn't touch on in the episode. You know, you're doing a film where a human has died and has been partially resurrected as a cop, right? There's a line in this film where it's like, oh, yeah, police officers don't strike, right? Postal workers, blah, 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 they strike. Mm-hmm. But police officers don't strike. That's a powerful line. There's a lot of weight behind that. We could do an episode. We could do a series on whether or not police officers should strike, right? There's a lot of meat there. Political. No, but there's a lot of meat there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of meat to be explored in terms of the efficacy of resurrecting a human being, turning them mostly into a machine.
Right.
And maybe Robocop 2 jumps into that. Maybe the remake jumps into it. Maybe they jump into the show. They didn't do it here. And the premise of this film presents a real opportunity, and I would say almost, not really, I wouldn't die on this hill, but almost an obligation to explore that ethical question.
2 gets into it.
And the film, and okay, so
this one
maybe 2 will score better.
This one deals more with a man trapped in a machine, coming to terms with the fact that he is a machine and he did partially die.
I'm telling you right now, if you make me watch number 2, and number 2 deals with the efficacy of the decision that was made and shows the reuniting of him with his wife and son, and sort of the struggles and emotional things that may or may not come out of that, I'm guessing it might score higher than this one does. I give it a 6.5. I think 7 plants it firmly in that iconic era, or that iconic stage, and there was just a couple of things. The acting and the roads not taken brought it down a little. And so I give it a 6.5, which takes my score for your films from a 6.0 to a 6.0.
I'll take you out back and beat you with a stick later.
And does not affect your 6.7 score. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you check out our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all listed below. We have a Patreon page, which I think, like, maybe at the time that this has been released, or maybe in the coming week, has been completely revamped. Look, I don't want to let the cat out of the bag too much, but there's going to be all kinds of new crazy stuff happening on Patreon. Earlier access to episodes, exclusive episodes that are only accessible through Patreon, increased voting power, which exists now, but there's a little bit of a twist coming. Maybe I don't know, you could call it a power up. I don't know. There's lots of good reasons to join our Patreon. At the very least, which is helping support and grow the show. Emphasis. I'm dying here. Emphasis on grow the show. We don't pay ourselves. Money comes in from Patreon and it goes back into the show. It goes back into purchasing gear to grow the show. Set, right? Like improving the studio so that when we do video content, that looks better. Speaking of video content, I'm going to throw this in here. So here's the thing. I've spent, like 5 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago, Pete and I did a live stream. We sat down for like 6 hours. We did a live stream. We raised some money for a charity. We ate some hot peppers. We ate some garlic cloves. We did all kinds of stuff. We interviewed some fans and some guests, and it's taken 4.5 years of, like, literally when the first one ended, I was like, okay, Pete, let's plan the next one. And then 4.5 years, and Pete's like, I don't know.
You traumatized him.
And I don't think he'll mind me saying that, because literally, like, that's Pete's dragged his feet on doing our second live stream. I am officially announcing right now that my focus on trying to convince Pete to do a live stream is shifting. It's ended. He's dead to me. I'm going to try to convince Carl to do a live stream, which I think will be a little bit. I think Carl's a little more like, oh yeah, sure, let's just live stream. That'll be fun.
Might depend on what we do.
Play some video games. We'll do whatever. So I think that could be fun. That might be coming up. Might be a widespread thing. Facebook. It might be a Patreon exclusive thing. I don't know. Either way, you want to sign up for Patreon. Yeah, it's a good deal. And merch. If you like the show, oh God, Carl took a breath.
You can buy the stick I'm going to beat Brady with for not giving RoboCop a good enough score.
I mean, if we can monetize that, I'm game. I'm game. No, if you like the show,
even sign it.
If you like the show and you want to wear a sick T-shirt or drink your coffee from your $20 Walmart coffee machine, from a mug that says the Movie Men Podcast on it, the link is down below for that. There's a bunch of other stuff there as well, not just shirts and coffee mugs, but all kinds of fun merch that you can get, which also helps support the show. All of that money goes back into growing the show.
Yeah.
So
I'd buy that for $1.
And next time, then listen, yeah, stupid. The next, if you know, that's one of those, if you know, you know. If you've seen Robocop and you're familiar enough with it, then I'd buy that for $1. You're in the loop. If you're not in the loop, watch Robocop. We're not going to explain it to you. Listen, next week, when you and I sit down for me to show you a film that you've never seen, we're going to have a guest.
Woohoo!
It's exciting.
Fun times.
It's exciting. Yeah.
First.
Have I told you what we're watching? No. You don't even know what we're watching.
I think you alluded to it, but I don't remember.
It's a Tim Burton film.
Ooh.
And Obi-Wan Kenobi's in it.
Oh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Oh. I'm tempted to look it up, but I'm not going to.
Don't do it.
I'm not going to.
Because then I'll take the stick out of your hands and beat you in return.
It'll be double its value.